Hello everyone, this is just Peculiar Boy. Recently, I just made a video about how you can get better at chess by, following the rule of chess. Today, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to challenge 1100 bot right now. And it's 1100 bot. Let's do this. So we're going to play with white here. And without further ado, we just start the game. So first thing first, always the same thing. Control your center, develop your knight, develop your bishops, and we play simple chess. Let's go. E4. So Svan here plays a French defense, which is e6, but normally when your opponent's not like attacking your d4 square, you can just go d4 because you have a very strong center and everything's just very fine. If you just attack the d4 square by playing e5, you can develop your knight because if you just push, you can take, and that's a little bit complicated. So since he's not attacking the d4 square right now, we can just go d4. Control the center. This is a perfect pawn structure. Now this is the French defense. So now this is what we call the French defense, but you don't have to know the name if you are just starting playing chess. We're just following the rules. So right now he's attacking our pawn. So you can basically protect the pawn by developing your knight, or you can just take. We can make it simple by taking the pawn. It's totally okay. Nothing happens here. So I think we just take. All right, he takes back with the pawn. Now nothing happens here. Just one little thing you have to notice that E pawn is wide open, so this is what we call the open file. So just be careful, there might be a queen check, something like that, but you can block with the bishop by playing bishop e2. So nothing really scary happening right now. So we just go developing our knight like we usually do. Okay, develop his bishop. Okay, so you can see the 1100 bots is really I will say following the rules. They are getting smarter, so they are not going to make some crazy moves. They develop their pieces effectively. So of course we are going to develop our pieces. So we can go bishop d2, d3, of course not c4 because attacked by the pawn, and there are also b5. There are a lot of things you can do. Right now, bishop b5 check is not a good move, even though check is a kind of like a forcing move, but you can kick by the pawn and you can block by the knight. I don't think it's really effective because you have to react to it if he goes like c6, even though this destroyed his pawn structure and he can develop his knight, but I think it's too complicated right now. We just simply develop our bishop. I would say d3. Let's go. As you can see, he developed his knight, which is very amazing. And I think right now we just castle. If you can castle, you just castle. Okay, he castles. As you can see right now, 1100 bots really following the rules. He's not like playing some stupid moves like 700 bots. So right now we have to develop our pieces. So we develop our knight. Alright, bishop here, this is what we call the pin. We can move the knight because the bishop would take our queen, so we can't do that, but we can actually just develop our bishop and do the same thing to pin the knight to the queen. So he right now developed a knight to attack the pawn. So you have to know that this is really attacking the pawn because can't take back with the knight or we just lose our queen. So right now we have to do something. Okay, first thing first, we are going to protect this pawn. So maybe we can go like let's say we can go retreat the bishop, and now the queen is protecting and we unpinned ourselves, which looks great. Okay, so queen is protecting this pawn and we unpinned ourselves, and now he attacked our bishop, so we just retreat. Nothing really crazy, nothing really insane happening. So queen there, it's not like a really stupid move because it connects the bishop in the and the queen, but I don't think that really does anything. So in this position, you can do a lot of things because you already develop your bishops, knights. What are you going to do right now? I said in the previous video, when you are ready, you can attack. So right now, you can see the knight is actually not protected by the queen. So if I take the knight, he has to take back with the pawn. So this is what we call the damaged king side. So if you take the knight, he has to take back with the pawn, right? So you can see the black king side will be wide open. So I think that's a very good move. And as you can see, if I take, he take back, the knight was originally protecting d5 square, so if we take, he takes back, we can take the d5 pawn, which is also really amazing. So I think bishop takes f6 is a really good move. Take. Now he takes back. Now you can see the king is really weak right now. We can, if we can put the rook or the queen right here, that will be the huge threat for black. So right now this pawn is just hanging, so I think we can just take. Okay. Everything is amazing, and this knight is really strong in the center. So he attacked our bishop. So rook e8, this is a very, very huge blunder. So there are three things you have to pay attention to when you're playing chess. You are going to look for checks, takes, and threats. So right now, do we have any checks? We do have a check, which is knight takes f6 check. And what does the check do? If the king moves, we can take the rook. Even though he can take back knight, the rook is worth 5 points and the knight is worth 3 points. Plus, we'll win a pawn. So win a pawn and the rook, and we only lose a knight. That's really, really amazing, right? So we can take with check. So he has to react to the checks. This is the knight. And now we can take again, and this is another check. There's another forcing move, really amazing. We just take. So right now in this position, you can see the king is really, really weak and we are up 2 pawns with up exchange. When you trade a rook with your piece, we call that your up exchange. That's very, very good because that's 5 points for piece, 2 or 3 points piece. So like I said in the previous video, you are going to develop, right? Your queen hasn't developed in this position. You can see the queen's blocked by the bishop and the pawn. It's like really ugly queen. So if you can go queen d2, even queen d3 is fine move. But queen d3, you can see it met this knight b4 and attack the queen, and you have to move your queen again. So if you go like queen d2, there's no threat and there's no like obvious attack. The queen is not going to attack very easily. So queen d2, amazing move, and connect the rooks like we said in the previous video. So now rook here, try to open it up, but this pawn is kind of a little bit just a little bit weak, so we can support a pawn with c3. Amazing. You can see this connected pawns. Amazing. Now queen there, and I think because we are up exchange and we are up 2 pawns, when you're up materials, the only thing you're going to do is trade everything as soon as possible, because when everything's trade off, you have 2 pawns advantage and you can just straight into the endgame and win the easy game. Okay, so now if we can trade, we trade. Now first thing first, you are going to notice that if we have, you have to pay attention to checks, takes, and threats. So right now we have huge threat against black, which is d5. This is what we call the fork. So when we play d5, knight is under attack, queen is under attack, so he has to react to the threat, or we just take, right? So if we play d5 and the queen goes anywhere because he has to save the queen, now can we really take the knight? We all know that forks are good, but can we really take the knight for free? Actually, you can't, because let's calculate a little bit. If we push, the queen goes like anywhere, retreat, let's say. If we take the knight, he can go bishop h2. That's a check. So always remember, you have to look for checks, takes, and threats. So your opponent might find the very nasty bishop takes h2. That's a check. So you have to react to the check to take back the bishop. Another rook is wide open. He can take a queen. So even though this is a fork, it looks amazing. But after queen goes anywhere, you can't really take the knight because it's a check and win back the queen. So it's a little bit complicated, but I need you to pay attention to every forcing move that might happen. So right now, what can we do to, like, I would say support d5? Because we can't support d5 with my queen. We might lose our queen. Is there any good option? I think we have a good option to play rook d1 or even c4 and ready to play d5 because it's supported by the pawn. Looks amazing. Right? So right now, I think c4 is a good move. Rook d1 is a good move. And I think in this position, maybe we can just prepare for c4, d5. And right after he, like, if we play c4 and queen goes anywhere, we can go rook d1, maybe d5 is very good. Depends on what he plays. So c4 is happening right now. Let's go. So he played bishop b4. This is what we look for the threat. If we play the c4, then he has this move and we can't take back because of the knight. So we're kind of weakening the dark square, but it's totally okay, right? We can actually just fork, because if we take my queen, we can take back with the pawn. So that's what we call the trade. And if we can trade the queens when you're up materials, that would be totally amazing. So we can use the fork. If he goes queen anywhere, and then we can just move our queen, and this is still under attack and has to react to it, and we can just try to chase the bishop away, and we are doing very good. So let's play d5 in this position. and he takes our queen. Don't panic, we can still take his queen. So in this position, take back with the bishop. Like I said, if you can trade pieces, trade, right? So we can take the bishop. Now you take back with the rook. Now we have to, you know, protect the bishop because it's basically hanging there. But we are going to lose a pawn, but it doesn't matter. We are up 3 points of materials. It's okay. We can just go rook e1. Okay, now he takes a pawn for free. It's okay. Don't panic. We are going to come up with some plans. So first thing first, yeah, we're up 2 pawns. And now, is there any like obvious threat right now? Actually, I don't think so, but we can use our bishop. Even though the bishop is, you know, attacking the square, it's okay. We can still go like, let's say, bishop here, try to attack the knight. And if bishop take, we take the knight. He had to react. And we go rook here. Try to take the bishop because this is a dark square. The bishop can protect the pawn, and we can take the pawn. It looks a little bit complicated, but we are going to try, you know, to trade as many pieces as possible. So we can go bishop here. If he takes, it's okay. We take back, and he has to take back, right? Because it's a bishop. And we go rook here, and the bishop is under attack. He can probably go here, but we can just kick the rook. So it actually depends what he does. So maybe you just go bishop f3 and see what he does. Okay, take back with the bishop. Now, like I said, we can take the knight. Okay, right now, this is actually attacked by the rook and the bishop. But it's okay. We're going to collect his pawns on the queen side by playing rook c1. He's protecting the pawn here. So right now, maybe we can play a3 or a4. I think they are all good moves. Maybe a4. And we're still up a pawn. Now he goes there. Now we can try to trade the rooks by play. We can go rook cb1, rook ab1. It's a good move, I think. And maybe we go rook cb1 because we are still protecting the c4 or a4 pawn. Sorry, here, and try to trade. Okay, now we can trade by playing this. I think that's a good move. If you take, he can take back with the c pawn. The pawn structure will be correct. There are no double pawns, so maybe we can go a5, just try to chase the rook. Okay, still he doesn't want to trade. I get it. We can go f3 right now because it blocks the bishop, and he can attack our rook by playing bishop e4. Then we can try to activate my king because this is what we call the endgame. In the endgame, king has to be activated. King is very, very strong in the endgame, so the king's not powerful like you know, a rook or a bishop, something like that. But king is very, very important in the game, and you have to develop it. We can develop our king. We can even just take the rook, something like that, right? So I think both moves are good, but maybe king. We can develop our king and try to do something with our king. So it goes there, which is not the move that I expected. Okay. And go bishop here, trying to go bishop f5, right? Just like I said, bishop is the sniper. You have to be careful. If we play king d3 right now, this is a skewer. Your king has to move, and you know, you're going to lose your rook. So don't do that, all right? So in this position, I think it's a good time to trade the rooks. Okay, takes back. Now, if we go here, he's gonna protect with the pawn. What if we go rook c1 and attack the c pawn? Okay, give it a check. Very, very smart. We go here. Okay, right now he might protect the b pawn with the a pawn by playing a6. So what if we play a6 in the first move? We play a6, and if we push, we can take the bishop because the bishop is supported by the b5 pawn. So we can just play a6 and stopping a6 happening. Okay, it goes there, and literally just blunder a bishop like I said. So we take the bishop for free. Okay, so right now, we don't have to deal with this pawn. It's not a threat because if we go b2, we can go king c2, and the king is covering a b1 square, so nothing's happening and there's no threat, so we can just grab the pawn with our rook. All right, b2. Now it's a time. You can even go like, you know, rook b7, king c2, something like that. But I think king c2 is really strong. Now he goes here. We can just grab the pawn. We don't have to take the pawn. Don't take the pawn. Because when you can just take the a7 pawn, why you take the b2 pawn? Because the b1 queen square is covered by the king. You don't have to react to it. A lot of beginners tend to, you know, react to everything that your opponent did. That only worsen your position because you just given what we call the tempo. If you overreact to the position, you give a lot of tempo, and your opponent has a chance to win back. But in this position, it's totally winning, so it's not that huge blunder to take back the b2 pawn. But I will recommend to take the a7 pawn just by free, and you can queen. So it goes here. It doesn't matter. We can actually go rook b7 and try the queen. Okay, it goes here now. Still, we don't have to take the pawn. The king is guarding. We can go a7. Now, you can go a8. I'm going to make a rook and show you how to make 2 rooks checkmate. Right now, he's attacking the rook. So where should we put our rook? You have to keep your rook as far as possible from the king. But you have to stay on the same rank because you are going to restrict the king. So we can go rook h7. Still is keeping on the 7th rank. Now king goes down, really good. The king can still go back to 6th rank. You have to protect the 6th rank. You have to keep the king from going back to 6th rank. What are you gonna do? You're going to bring your rook on the 8th rank to the 6th rank. You can see, really beautiful. Now we can bring our rook on the 7th rank to the 5th rank. Okay, king's not going back because the rook on the 6th rank. Now the same thing. We can actually go rook here. We can actually bring our rook on the 6th rank to the 4th rank. Still, he can't go back because the rook on 5th rank. So right now in this position, we can't go back because there are a lot of pawns blocking the way. So in this position, you have to be careful because if he go king f2, he might just take our g2 pawn. So maybe we just protect our g2 pawn like this, right? And we are ready to take the pawn. And just be careful, the stalemate. You have to make sure the king has moves so we can take the pawn. Amazing. The king goes g8 square. Now you can actually, there are a lot of things you can do. This is just basically winning. So you can see the h2 pawn is attacked. So you can just go h3. And the king still has moves. So there will be no stalemate. All right. Right now, you are going to deliver checkmate. So first thing first, you are going to make sure the king has moved. The king has e1 square, e2 square, like f2 square, so there will be no checkmate. There will be no stalemate. So you can just take the pawn. Finally, we take the pawn. Then we can try to checkmate your opponent. All right, so right now, he has a f2 square, right? And we are going to prevent him from going back to the e file. We can bring the rook to the e file. Now it's cutting. This is what we call cut the king. All right, cut the king. Then we can gradually bring our king and try to deliver checkmate. And still he has a q1 square, f1 square, so we don't have to worry about the stalemate. Now, in this position, what are we going to do? So in this position, you are totally winning. The easiest way to checkmate your opponent is just promote, because it's protected by the rook, it's protected by the rook again, and if he goes there, it might be checkmate, right? So just make sure he has a move. Then we can just gradually promote. Now, here we go. Okay, then we go. Still he has a move. There you go. Okay, then we can still go for a rook, and he still has moves, so don't worry about that. So in this position, there are a lot of things you can do. We have 3 rooks. If you want to be like trolling, you can just make another rook. Right, just make sure he has a move. He has a g1 square and h2 square, and everything's fine. All right, now in this position, we're going to promote. You can promote to a rook with check. Important, this is a check. So if you promote with the check, it won't be stalemate. So in this position, you can see it's covered by the rooks, and this pawn is protected by the rook. If you can check, that'll be checkmate. So rook e1 is a solid checkmate. Amazing. It's 1100 bot. So you can see we just follow the rule of chess and pay attention to the threats, checks, and takes, and you might just win the game very smoothly. So in the next video, I'm going to challenge the 1300 bot. So if you like this video, just tell me what you thought and leave a comment, and you know, it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.